Corcovado National Park is located on the Osa Peninsula in the southwest part of Costa Rica. The park has 429 square kilometers of land and is also part of the Osa Conservation Area that includes other preserved islands. The region that the park is located was found because of the gold deposits discovered in the jungles in the early 1930s. Later, in the 1980s, the Osa Peninsula turned into a Wild West gold rush. During the gold rush, the population increased to up to 5 times more, to around 20,000 people. Corcovado is close to the equator and the climate is tropical. It is humid year-round and gets a lot of rain. The most interesting part of Corcovado is the biological diversity living in it. The diversity on the Osa Peninsula is not exceeded by any part in the world with similar size. It is the only remaining wet forest on the Pacific coast of Central America. There are 13 different ecosystems in the park, including mangrove swamps and marine and beach habitats. National Geographic named Corcovado National Park the most biologically intense place on the planet. The biodiversity of species is linked to the land bridge that connects North and South America. It contains 2.5% of all the biodiversity of the entire world. There are over 141 species of mammals, 400 species of birds, 116 species of reptiles and amphibians, 40 species of fish, 8,000 insects, and over 500 species of trees. In 1975, a law was created to set aside national territory for the formation of a model national park system. Conservationists then pressured the government to protect the Osa Peninsula instead of using it for logging. On October 24, 1975, the President of the Republic, Daniel Audubon, formed Corcovado National Park. Since 1987, park management systems became popular in Costa Rica. Many conservation areas were created and ecotourism became a big part of it all. Ecotourism in Costa Rica has created awareness to the local population, given the community financial benefits, and helped build the environment. It has also enhanced the culture for the local community as well as the tourism market. The following video gives a better sense of the biodiversity in Corcovado National Park and how the park has become more sustainable while at the same time helping the local populations.
Corcovado is the Ark of Latin America. It holds a mind-bending amount of ecological variety. National Geographic called it the most biologically intense place on Earth. Corcovado's profusion of wildlife thrives on an equally staggering range of vegetation, including at least 4 different kinds of forest, encompassing some 500 species of trees. For millennia, it's served as a longitudinal corridor for animal and plant life, a breeding ground for a riot of adaptations, and part of a tropical hotbed that conservationists call the Path of the Panther. There are so many birds in Corcovado, the tropic breeze is alive with color. Tiny frogs carrying pockets of poison hop like raindrops. Here is a supple universe. Here, water conquers stone. The Lapa Rios Eco Lodge unfolds in a private nature reserve spread over 1,000 acres of Central America's last remaining lowland tropical rainforest. The owners designed it as an eco-destination that could demonstrate that a forest left standing is a much more valuable, more sustainable source of income to the community than one cut down. The lodge employs only local residents, uses community suppliers, and is committed to environmentally sound practices.
Throughout time, there have been many pressures facing the people living in the rural villages throughout Costa Rica. Many people are moving to bigger cities and towns due to the changing infrastructure and new conveniences in our world. By implementing more sustainability practices, the park can employ more of the people throughout the community. As you can see from the concept map, there are many ecological and social links between the environment, community, and the ways in which tourism and illegal logging can affect the ecosystem in the park. The difficulty in Costa Rica is that the tourism is positive because it helps the local economy, but it can also be a negative factor when considering the species that have to interact more with humans. From the timeline, you can see all of the series of events that have happened throughout time to create this park. Corcovado is a resilient system. It has experienced a gold rush and a logging episode, and the ecosystem has continued to shift to be a healthy place for the species to live. In order to keep the ecosystem healthy, the park needs to be protected. Even though the land is focused on ecotourism today, there are still improvements that could be made to reduce illegal logging and the human presence on the species in the park. It is important to protect the park because of its unusually high amount of biodiversity. The area includes about 25 to 30 ecosystems and contains many different species, many of which are endangered. Foundations are now being set up to protect areas in the park, such as Osa and the Corcovado Foundation. Osa protects many of the marine areas of Corcovado. The Corcovado Foundation was created by concerned neighbors of the park to stop illegal hunting and logging. They work closely with the National Park Service to protect the wild heritage and the future of the species in the park. The foundation also provides environmental education to the community. The future looks bright for Corcovado National Park. Through education, communities can learn more about the park, and in order to provide the education, the park can offer more jobs to the local people. When the park supplies jobs and the communities fully understand their responsibility to live sustainably, they will be able to teach the tourists how to reduce their impact when visiting. Corcovado will then be a healthy ecosystem for years to come.